come over and try to echo these sentiments or echo this message so that it will get especially to the youths. Why is it so important? Ahmad is in habit of coming up thinking that he's smarter than Gambians, thinking that Gambians are fool, and in fronting Barrow's interest, fronting his interest and his NPP cabal. And he goes to the extent of always, that's how they get us weaker, by dividing us. They go on a tribal rhetoric to divide us. They go on to attack people that will come out to hold them accountable when they use foreigners to register, to undermine our sovereignty, to undermine our democracy. They call us xenophobic. They call, some of us tribalists. They call some of us as hating their own. We have seen that. But because of these things come in different times and in different environments, it tends to escape the people. That's why today I want to bring all these things to expose how dangerous Ahmad is, to expose how dangerous this government is. I am a human being, as we all know. I still say I'm a human being. But my identity, if I tell you my most important identity is being a Gambian, because my faith is private to me. My faith is between me and the Maker. What I share, what is bigger for me, it's the nationality I take in half. That does not stop, and it does not minimize my relationship from my origins, my connections, and any other thing to other sovereignties, be it Senegal, Guinea, or Guinea-Bissau, or Liberia. Yes, Liberia. And people wonder, why Liberia? Yes, I have no relative. I was not born in Liberia, but my experience in Liberia have made me to have a profound sense of belonging in for that matter. But the other countries I've just named, Senegal, Guinea and Guinea-Bissau, Mali, these are sovereignties that made who we are as Gambians. Most of us, majority of us, trace ourselves from these nations. And I don't even want to go into the African context of the entire Africa. But if we even keep it short, our immediate surrounding, that made us, that this is the areas that impact on us, in economically or any other forms, our sense of belonging and anything else, then it is important to treasure this. But as a patriotic citizen, I put no country, not even this country I hold a citizen for. I hold no country loyalty above my Gambian loyalty to my Gambianness. It's here. Gambia was born in me. I was not only born in the Gambia, because I was brought up by parents who are patriotic, who believe in their community, who believe in their in the goodness of our country, who believe in our sense of belonging. That's that environment I've been brought in. I came from Bakau Sanchaba. My immediate surrounding, the compound directly, compounds surrounding me are of mixed background, from different nations, from Sierra Leone, from Guinea-Conakry, from Senegal, from Mali, and name it. We have it within our distance. Now, let's come to the hypocrisy of Ahmat. And we have to take it, as I said, from this notion that he made a statement and the entire government trying to baffle Gambians about this cement importation. The importance of this is, I have seen that they are kind of achieving something, further dividing us, not only by tribes and anything else, but raising nationalistic sentiments which are not real against Senegal. But they are not doing it, because of their stupidity. And I say stupidity because that's the only language, that's the only word in English that qualifies what they are. It's their hypocrisy and stupidity. Because of their immediate needs for now would make them, in fact, say something that affects our long-term interests. Because of their immediate selfish interests to protect their patrons would make them make statements that will affect our interests. Now, in the sense of things, let's make this point clear again about the, and as I said, I have seen young people, and not only young, even grown-ups, jump in to say, yes, the government, yeah, even if I don't support the government, but they are right here, they have to protect our industry. First, again, as I reference Dr. Gajigo, I've said it before, but I am referencing Dr. Gajigo, being an expert, being an economist who have experience, who have worked with the Africa Development Bank for so long, who is a consultant, doing consultancy for bigger, other sovereign nations and stuff like that, who have authority on this. Have, as I said, go and watch the program at Kirfatu, YouTube, who have authority on this, have explained explicitly that we don't have an industry. For people who have doubted, because of Ben Suwareh and others might say it, no, take it from Dr. Gajigo. We don't have an industry. He have explained what it takes to have an industry. And for people that might not have the opportunity to listen to that, the bulk, the main ingredients or material needed to establish an industry, it's not present in Gambia, it's impossible, economically impossible. And for that to present in Gambia, the amount you need, the material, main material you need to be considered a manufacturer or who have a factory, it's not in existence in the Gambia, it's impossible. The economics of it doesn't make sense. What makes sense here, we have to import cement. That's why the entire cement coming to the Gambia is imported. It's not manufactured in the Gambia, not sell. We don't have a manufacturing company in the Gambia. That have been explicitly explained by an expert. Not Jar Oil, not Salam, not Gassem. And I can tell you a bit of history. Gassem, when they first started, they tried to even have a development license so that they can have duty waivers. Jawara government did not give it to them. And that was around 1992. It brought a big tension between Gassem and the Jane family of Jimpex. And they were battling on the media. That's a bit of history. Because for what they were doing, they were not qualified to be given any development license. Now the fact is established that we don't have a manufacturing company in the Gambia that manufactures cement. Salam, be it Gassem, be it Jar Oil, are traveling away from Africa. If you want to be nationalistic, if you want to be a Pan-Africanist, consider this. They are going to the colonial masters to buy cement. They are going to Spain, They're going to other places, probably Morocco would be probably, but apparently Spain and Portugal. They're going far ends to import cement. Consider this. They're going far into import cement. They are using what? Foreign currency to do that. Then the foreign currency debate, they're trying to advance, let us just put it redundant, it's no. Now, because of they going to the EU to buy cement, where things are subsidized in order to create markets. But guess what? Senegal is given the same incentive. That's why it's cheaper to get it from Senegal than those countries. Because Senegal are within the ECOWAS. You don't have to go through certain tariffs in order to import from Senegal. Because of Senegal have actually put a ceiling price cap that cement cannot be sold more than that. Virtually then Gambians that go there to buy cement will be benefiting from having affordable cement price. Now, if Jar Oil and others decided to go into a bad business setup, when you can acquire the same qualities of a lesser price or a competitive price across the border, but because you think that you can create a monopoly to justify what you do, because of you have a government that you are control of, you have to use that leverage. That's unfair. And Jar Oil does not. Jar Oil, last week, we have shown the evidence. If you go to our timeline, you see the evidence. They have used 10 tankers to go to Senegal to buy the stock, to reinforce their stock, and that's why they called the press conference. Remember Mr. Haidara leading, who is leading Gasset, who is leading Jar Oil. He's a former NIA operative. He thinks he can manipulate the systems. They brought in cement from Senegal. Now they're claiming that they have capacity for 6 months. Without these 10 tankers, they will not have capacity for whatever it is. Then it's not sustainable. If there happens to be a pandemic again, we all know what happened during the pandemic. Their factories stopped, their facilities, not factories, stopped to operate. The only cement we had was coming from Senegal. If there are other, and we know now how volatile this wall is, how volatile the Atlantic can be. Next tensions there, and shipment can be, or the cost of shipment can go up. And cost of shipment goes up, they will have to pass it on to the consumer. That's why it's good to let the market decide. That's why it's good to have competition in market. That's why it's diversify your markets. We have some coming from Senegal. We have if they want to bring it from Kulukoro, let them go and get it from Kulukoro. It's a free enterprise. Now, to continue, to show that if it is about taxation, Jar Oil, and let me say this, I'm not even going to name the other companies. This is entirely about Jar Oil. And I'll tell you why. It's entirely about Jar Oil. And I can point to things that Ahmat have said which are untrue. And I have evidence for that. This is entirely about Jar Oil. Now, for Jar Oil who have a special investment certificate, it's exempted from paying certain tax. The people driving from Senegal, bringing it, they are coming through the borders and they are paying what is asked for. They are buying fuel from Gambia. They are employing Gambians. They are distributing from Banjul to Koina. They are not only They are not only making helping the availability to create competition, but they are creating jobs in even rural Gambia, to Wasu and other places. Go and look at the cement in those places. Why do Jai Oil want a monopoly? Now it's easy. If Jai Oil thinks that his cement is better and he have a competitive price, let it be. Let the others bring their price. If they bring their cement based on a fair tariff, the Gambians will choose. Let the consumer choose. If we take out the competition and allow a monopoly, we are doomed. And remember, this government does not. This is why I'm going to expose. They don't care about the consumer because they are relying. Do you know why? A government that will be always be voted based on inducement, voted based on the number of foreigners that they will bring into vote, voted on based on using an incumbency to divide us, because of they have the money to pay media houses, they have the incumbent power to use the security sector and everything to suppress the opposition. They will not care about the people. That's why this government and the Jammeh government never cared about the people. They are the same. Now, the Jai stuff, Dr. Gajigo has said something. He said there are rumors, and it's very plausible. That's why I'm repeating it. And as I said, Dr. Gajigo knows what he talks about, and it makes sense. Now, he said there's a rumor that the reason they are holding on to, trying to raise this, is to protect Jai. Why? Because recently, Gambia government have ensured again. You should tell you why Jai Oil is important to these people. Protected Jai Oil to buy Jai Oil to have a loan of $50 million from Badia. $50 million, and that loan is guaranteed by the sovereignty. When the government should have ensured that if that loan was going to be guaranteed by the sovereignty, should not be for Jai Oil alone. But instead, it should have been structured so in a way that the entire agriculture or food basket network would have the people participating would have the money to reinvest in order for us to meet our demand for food sufficiency. What do I mean? The government, if they are to guarantee anything, should be for the interest of the nation, for the interest of the people, not to protect for an individual who is working for profit alone, for his own profit alone. It's a big risk. And I am saying this, I am no economist, but I have common sense to read to understand that the risks they take, it's a common knowledge that if you put all your eggs in one basket, you are taking huge risks that likely that you will end up having less eggs or no eggs. That's a fact. Now, taking $50 million, giving it to an individual who have never done an investment in a production line. What Jai Oil does is buy and sell. He have never built up a value chain from production to distribution because of agriculture is complex. To go for growing, selecting of seeds, growing it, protecting it, whatever, harvesting, putting into market, it's not an easy task. Now, to put all hopes on one person, $50 million is a big risk. We could have invested in the poultry business. We could have created. There are so many young people now into poultry. There are so many diasporans that return or who have invested in these areas. People who can have collateral to take certain amount of loan. In the poultry business, people could have taken at $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Let's say that $5 million could have gone for the poultry business, and see the dividend that we're going to come into that. People are investing now in horticulture from different levels. Retired Gambians from the international community have taken passion. They're taking their passion now into agriculture. We have seen returned diaspora taking passion into agriculture, horticulture, and others. We have seen women movements. We are witnessing the revolution from the women warriors, from going from Kiang to Mahmoud Fana and to the Combo. If another $10 million was put into horticulture, the organizations that have proven themselves, like the women warriors and others, imagine a $1 million loan to the women warriors. What a transformation that would be. To transform the life of those women. And the success would be what? To achieve our aims and ambitions of what? Attaining aspirations of what? That we can feed ourselves. Because we know how hardworking our mothers and sisters are, how disciplined they are, how vital they are in our community. Any government would have put in the money into them. I have only accounted to about $15 million. Whereas, imagine where the $35 million will be going. The $35 million, we are looking at animal husbandry. Now we have seen so many Gambian diasporans, Gambian retiree, and Gambian youths getting into rearing different species of animal, especially lamb, sheep, and other things. And imagine that another $10 million or $15 million. If Jai want to get into these things, let him get into these things. $15 million put into those sectors. We have even seen Gambians now trying to develop dairy farms where milk will be available for nutrition, to bring the cost down, to produce, to develop a chain. $15 million could have been put into animal husbandry. Now, you could have put another $10 million into rice development, just as before giving it all to Jawal. We know of Musa Dabo of Maro Farms. We know of Mr. Bachili, who we have seen the last 18 months, how much Mr. Bachili have advanced in rice development. And so many other people I don't even know. But we have seen the potential in the Jahali and other areas. $10 million would have gone, distributed among networks of this thing, would have gone, this thing. And do you know who these people were going to employ to do this? This investment would have created jobs that government could not figure out to create for the youth population. That would have stem of this, many of this back way. Many of this back way would have reduced it a bit. This is what we have done. But what does this government do? Give it to Java. Now, what Mr. Gadjo is saying, the rumor is here, they are protected. They're protecting Jaol because of now they realize that the loan given to Jaol, 50 million, Jaol might be in difficulty to pay it. Now what they're trying to do is, because the major actor here is Jaol. Now what they're trying to do is here, create a monopoly for Jaol to have volume and knock out all the competition out, and from the other traders have volume, and in a short time to accumulate an amount so that when the time arises for him to pay, he will be able to pay. You see, protecting one person. This is the rumor. I emphasize the rumor reported. Now, it does make sense. It does make sense because we all know that, I mean, Jawel have never been into this form of agriculture. He have banana plantations, they are not trick. But to start a farm of this much, I mean, paying experts, paying all these things and investing in it before making profit and pay, he would then be chewing into the capital. Then the loan will be kicking in, the loan repayment, interest repayments. And if he is already chewing into that capital. But whose fault was it? What all the experts we have, finance and trade and everywhere else, you think they don't know better? They know better than the lay person here. The difference is my person. They know better than me, but what they do is they deliver what Barrow wants rather than deliver what Gambian people want. They know about all this risk associated. They know that it was not right, but Barrow wanted Jawel to have it. Do you know, for another interest, which is not a speculation, because of Jawel is giving kickbacks directly to Barrow. Kickback direct to Barrow. Jawel is giving kickback direct to NPP. These are the two forms of, sustaining Barrow and, sorry, not sustaining Barrow, to growing Barrow's generational wealth ambitions. Generational wealth. Just as Yaya Jammeh said, even my great-grandchildren would not be poor. This is the mentality of Barrow. It's the mentality of Barrow, trying to have everything based on taking from Gambian people, bleeding Gambian people. And the other form is taking kickbacks to thinking that that kickback can sustain their politics. They can use that politics to divide us so that they can pay media houses, so that they can pay so-called influencers, fly them from Canada, fly them from America, fly them from Europe, fly them from Africa to go in there to poison the minds of our people. And build infrastructure of what? Building offices, buying luxury vehicles, running around. Then when the time arises, they bribe them. Where did the NPP have all this money to pay all these Ujaits they take into Mecca? And they call themselves Muslims, and they know that the money that is paying for their trip to Mecca, only Allah knows. Where they get the money to retain people, paying them from NPP. It's not the individual NPP sweating to put the money for this money to be distributed. It's from business people, business interests that are weakening our economy. That's why I'm telling Gambian youths, be very careful. Be very careful. Don't fall for this nationalistic sentiments this government is trying to throw onto you. Oh yes, and I'm not in agreement with government. But if they're protecting our industry, what industry are they protecting? We'll go to the critical industries. We'll go to the critical industries to expose this narrative. It's sad that we have Gambian media houses that will sit down and accept this narrative. We'll get there. Now, Jawel, this is the reason behind it. It's nothing to do because of they want to protect us. No. Now, if they want to protect us, why this Gambia government, Adama Barrow's government, how much did they own Senelec? Senelec is Senegal. Senelec, let me explain this to you. They went and bought, they went and had a contract with Senelec, taking excess. This is what excess here is. Okay, let me take a brief to explain this. You know, when you generate power, the power has to be redistributed and consumed for it to make economic sense. What happened to Senegal was, that's why you have to be careful when we see infrastructure, yeah, Senegal or Gambia. No, does it make economic sense? the Salum and the side of the Salum and others, Senegal went with a French company, Senelec. They build this solar plants that generate so much of energy. But it was not based on the economics that makes sense. It was based on Macky Sall trying to give business to a French company. That French company, inflated everything. It could have been done by a Chinese company. It could have been done another company, far less. And it would have been just to meet the needs and the reserves they need. But in order to create the jobs and create the wealth that would continue the French economy relied on, he went and gave them this contract. When he gave them the contract, obviously it's a big contract. They generated far much energy they needed in the south, in that area of the Salum, that they needed in the area of Salum. And it's very expensive to transfer that energy, excess energy, from where it's generated to Dakar or to Linguère or to Fouta. It's very expensive to do that. It's very expensive to do that. And the longer you transmit, put it into transmission, the less, you lose energy. You lose energy. That's why the economics doesn't make sense. Why they could have built 5 solar plants in different regions in Senegal. That would have been more economic viable. But no, the French doesn't want, that's why the past government said economic sovereignty. Anything designed, they're going to design it for the interest of Senegal. And this is the mentality Gambians should have. Whatever we design it for our interests, or a win-win situation. Now, do you realize that Senegal is buying is buying energy from car power? Go and see the source of Dakar. Car power, one of their biggest ships is supplying Dakar, but Senegal is selling us energy. Does that make sense? Just shows you what bad governance was in Senegal. Now, in order for them to sustain, guess what? Barrow government came in. My party went and signed the initial, as an interior minister, contract. They said, oh, they will sell us excess. If you selling me excess, something that technically you don't need, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's what it means. Senelec have excess. If they don't give it to us, they will lose it. If that is the case, why would I pay market value price? No, I should bargain. If they wanted the interest of Gambia, they should have bargained to buy it under market value. If we don't buy from them, it goes in the atmosphere. Because it's already generated from their solar plants. They did the same thing with Mali when that civilian president was there. And you will find out that civilian president, I forget the name, guess what? When he was booted, most of his assets are in Dakar. That's how they sold the excess energy to Gambia, excess energy to Mali. I don't know how much Mali is paying for, but Gambia are paying market price, paying in dollars. Or if any negotiation, they will pay in CFA. Now, do you know the cost of energy? If that's the debate, or it's foreign currency, they are consuming, paying that much. That's one part. One part of Senelec milking us, which Barrow government have signed, and Barrow government have no other strategy to get us out of that. Because of their laziness and because of Macky Sall wanted that, they had that. Gambia, this is the way things we need to look at. Thank you, Ababakar Keta. Thank you very much, Kodwale. Ike. This is one aspect of it. That's the energy that comes to Badibu to how to call it, Badibu to Bara. Now, do you know the other cost that Senelec is making money on us? We all heard about the 30 gigabytes, or sorry, not gigabytes, sorry. Whatever they call it. Remember the ONVG project? Gambia government went and took loans, saddled Nawek with loans, saddled the country sovereignty with loans, in order to build the network let me say this. I'm not saying we should not do it, but the timing was the interest of Senegal. Megawatts. Thank you, megawatts. Yeah, about 50 megawatts. You all remember the signing of the contract, 50 megawatts and everything else. And Barrow said we have enough energy now. All what is left now is synchronization. You all remember that? It's over a year. All left now is synchronization. We will need this, we will need that. Again, that project was interest of Senegal. Let me put this. The OMVG, obviously, it's to our interest. But the OMVG, I can tell you, no, even them, the experts within cannot tell you the day that the energy will be generated from OMVG to get to the Gambia. They cannot tell you the date yet because of the complex need of the project. Complex need of the project. Now, what they did was, Macky Sall got Gambia government to build the infrastructure need so that would be needed if the Sambagulu project and orders from Guinea-Conakry and orders started to transmit and distribute the energy to Bissau and onto us. It has to go all that way. Then we will have the infrastructure capture it. Yeah, we will need it, but we didn't need it now. Why did we take a loan now to build this? The minute it was ready, what did Senegal do? Now Senegal come now. Senelec is selling us 50. Senelec signed a contract for 50 megawatts. 50 megawatts. Now I think they are using 30 megawatts. They are buying 30 megawatts from Senegal. This is different from the one they put in Nyomi area, Badiwu Nyomi area, and Basse. Now this is another one that's coming from Kiang. Went to Kiang. You know they put a substation in Soma and they put a substation in Birkama. This is what we are paying for. This is why now I cannot, because there's nothing money to the interest of Gambians. Now, how much again are we paying Senegal in dollars and CFA when we could have our own? Remember John Jatta, when John Jatta made these queries, they kick him out, the engineer. Now, the same thing happened to Car Power. Car Power now have become a permanent. If this government, do you know how much we owe to Car Power? And I can tell you, I don't know the updated negotiations, but I can tell you when Car Power started, they are paying $250. $250,000 to Adama Barrow. Quarterly, I think, every 3 months. Kickback. And that was controlled by Alaji Conte. Alaji Conte left, Adama Barrow went to UDP. He replaced them with Lamin Sima. Lamin Sima was taking that bribe from Car Power. That's why Car Power was meant to be a temporal 2 years. Now Car Power is permanent part of our structure. Now, does this government care about the disadvantages with Gambia and Senegal? Does this government care about this advantage about Gambia and Senegal? These are the bigger projects. This is where they should look after our interests. Because of energy sovereignty matters. It's part of national security. If your neighbor control your energy supply entirely, man, you doom. You doom. And don't be surprised, probably now, a new government in Senegal, but if Macky Sall was still there, one day you hear that Nawek goes to Macky Sall. You know, in a nutshell, why I'm saying this, I am telling you as a Gambian my concerns. It's not about hate of Senegal or anything. Senegal are doing what is right for them, looking after their national interests. Gambia, we should look after our national interests. But it's not supposed to be put in a sentimental way, in a nationalistic way, that would make sure the Gambian and the Senegalese, Gambian and Senegalese to be colliding, because we are the ones in the markets and everywhere else. And we know these politicians don't mean anything for us. What they want is for them. This Barrow government. It's even not right to generalize politicians. Now, which other contract? Talking about cement imported from Senegal. I've talked about the two major procurement from Senegal. Let me give you a third one. Fisheries. You know, Gambians, most people don't understand the contract, the agreement we have with Senegal. Macky Sall, for that matter. Macky Sall, for that matter. It's not Senegalese government directly benefiting from this agreement. No. What Macky Sall did was create, just as people following the development in Senegal would see how Macky Sall created patrols, just what Barrow is trying to do, different patrols in taking land, in taking businesses, in taking everything. Macky Sall created patrols, with patrols, fisheries to license. And imagine this. Now, Senegalese citizens who are close to Macky, friends of Macky, or supporters of Macky and Macky's party, that's how the APR was operating. These people, Gambia government went on negotiation with Senegal to make it possible for these people to have access to issue out license for our waters, for our fish, for our waters. They have their waters. For our waters, those people gave out license. The license are not given to Senegalese fishermen, no. They are selling, they are giving them right to sell license to Turkish, to Chinese, to the EU, to anybody. On our behalf. Imagine that. We give them that right. Would Ahmat stand to say, why did they do that? Is that interest of Gambians? Does a government that do that have interest of Gambians? Do they have interest of us Gambians? No. Then we should not fall for this. Because the Senegalese fishing industry, the artisan fishing of Senegal have an industry. That's why you go to Mauritania. There are Senegalese artisans. In fact, they dominate Mauritania. You go to Guinea-Bissau, they dominate Guinea-Bissau. And we all know the history of dominance to Gambia. Because what happens is, naturally, they have a tribe called the Lebu. The Lebu are natural fishermen. They have the Chubalos. Chubalos are natural fishermen. They have the Serels who are from Dual and other areas are natural fishermen. They have the capacity. That's why they have this dominance. But the government of Senegal have never structured to make sure that the value chain necessary to develop the fisheries from artisans to an industry to be developed, never. They allow this nonsense of taking kickbacks from European countries, Chinese countries, Turkish and others, and depleted the fish in Senegal. And what it did to that extent of the entire local artisans become dismantled. And the local artisans now started to invest in taking people to the back way. That's why you see the explosion of these dangerous voyages. Started. Just rose up from Senegal. It did not happen in a vacuum. It happened because of the destruction, licensing. And the past state government came 2 months ago, and within 1 week they reclined or suspended all those licenses. Now fish, we all see the video. Fish is abandoned in abundance in Senegal. In abundance in Senegal. We have now seen them even fishing on the fish from the shore. Straight away, now fish are coming to the shore. When Senegalese artisan fishermen, people have to go miles, even going into Mauritania, getting classes with the Mauritania. This Gambian government, with all the evidence that even the short period that fish, the moratorium or whatever you call it, or the suspension have been implemented in Senegal, they have seen the evidence that fish is available in the markets. Now, why did they give our license to Senegalese? I'm not saying Senegalese citizens, but I am saying Senegalese patron of Macky Sall. Why? Because of what Macky wants, Macky has. That's another area. This recent OIC, allegedly, and the reason why is caveat, we are waiting for them, and we have to push to make sure if it's not today, tomorrow, or any other day, we have access to these records. We have to make sure an audit report is done. $1 million was given to a Senegalese company people don't even know about to do the branding of the OIC. What an insult. How many branding companies we have to do that? What have they done extraordinarily? Because of $1 million for branding, do you know what that means? And it was sanctioned from State House. Adama Barrow gets his kickback. That's what it meant. And then part of that money goes to NPP as well. This is the model. $1 million. We have seen the contracts given to so for the ambulance services in Senegal rather than our Red Cross. We have seen many other things. What the same government telling us, oh, we are doing the cement embargo to protect Gambians or Gambian non-existent industry. It's a lie. It's about their oil. And I have advanced reasons why their oil. Now, let's go to another one. This same government, I might have time to touch on that later. This same government broke the law of the Gambia, disregarded the rule of law, took advantage against Gambians, especially the country representative of that company, Nena Feather Gomez, and we have seen and witnessed how she was maltreated, and took a land that the company, charitable company who she was represented, had the legal rights from the courts, from the appeal courts, from the Supreme Courts. They took that land off. They did everything. They took her to court and she won all the cases. To turn around to give it to what? A Chantaland. Ablai Cham. Now look, they went and give it to Ablai Cham. And do you know, and we have seen the facts now. I will do this. 1 minute. I hope the person did not delete the video. I hope the person did not delete the video. Because he got a disappearing. Oh God. Okay, the video is not here. I was going to show a video here to show you what was negotiated. Because, oh, let me try. No, I was looking at the different persons. This one here. What it's about is to understand that when Lamin Sane came out, and finally, I used to just reference it, came out and finally said it in many interviews, and the government never came out to deny this fact. And what is this fact? Is the then representative of the OIC, they went on to negotiate with Saudi Arabia to support an initiative to build the OIC hotel. A very similar initiative that Senegal did with the King Fahad Palace. And they wanted to replicate that in the Gambia, to have it to be Bin Salman Palace or Bin Salman Hotel. And they negotiated a concession which would have guaranteed, is deleted, sorry, which would have guaranteed the Gambia government to benefit from a hotel that Gambia government was not going to put in any significant amount. I think about 90% of the financing would come from Saudi Arabia. And the management would be Gambian, and the proceeds would be 51-49. Just imagine that. We could have realized a hotel, and it would have added to the success of the OIC, but the legacy of the OIC and our tourism industry. That would have happened. Do you know what happened? Because I covered this many times. A Senegalese citizen, yes, if anybody said half Gambian or whatever, but I can tell you he's a holder of Senegalese passport. What he said, he was born in Kaula. I have seen his testimony, and probably, look, testimony, and in fact, his date of birth in that testimony, I don't believe it. I think he said he was born 1972 or so, which he doesn't look like someone born in 1972. But that's what is in his police statement. Now, Ablai Cham came to the Gambia. Already, the OIC have made their arrangements, plans, and everything. Ablai Cham was introduced to Barrow by Macky Sall, and came and went to Barrow, gave 2 vehicles to Barrow, and bought some basang or whatever, whatever it is, attires, give it to Barrow, and befriended Barrow's wife. And the instructions were coming from Barrow's wife to the OIC committee that Ablai Cham be given the contract. He came with all this fanfare, oh, I'm going to do this, do that, which was not true. The day they unveiled, and did the signing, the same Ahmat did the signing, I came out after 5 minutes and challenged it. I said the hotel will not happen. How do I know? Simple due diligence. Google Ablai Cham, Google then the company name. He was using a different company name. I found audit reports on Ablai Cham in Senegal that sanctioned him because of he was given procurement deal by Ablai Wada's government. He did not deliver on that. I find projects that he was assigned. He said he was going to build a computer manufacturing or assembly plant. He got the land. He never put a stone from the descent. I found banks judgments against him, chasing him for money he owns them. When I looked at the company and others looked at the company, when I shared my findings, other people who have experts came and explained. And the company, when we look at the company have never traded, company have never, no track record. It was a new build company in 2015, have no track record. When I looked at it, at that time, Ablai Cham did not have his own residence. He was renting an apartment. At that time, he was renting an apartment. He doesn't have his own apartment. And after I got evidence here from Ablai Cham's saying that his property was not ready, it was under construction. There's nothing that you can say that it was his present project or past project that is viable. I came out and said it's not going to happen. The guy would not able to convince anybody to put in $100 million. It's impossible. He doesn't have the track records. But because of the kickbacks and the promise of shares and other things that he promised Barrow let that go. And now we're here. Why would this, and this Ahmad knew everything about that. Why would they turn around they want us to hate Senegalese? They want us to hate this government of Senegal. After they did everything with Macky, they did everything with Macky criminals. You see, we have to wise up. They don't have our interests. They don't have our interests. Now, these are all things that tells you that the government are not looking at our interests. And the thing about this cement embargo, or what they're trying to do, is trying to protect their oil. Their oil, because of what they have given their oil a loan of $50 million, which could have gone into many other Gambians to be supported in the agricultural sector, who are very active, retired Gambians, who have expertise, who have assets, who have collateral, Gambians in the diaspora, who have assets, who have collateral, who have the passion, who have the know-how to be innovative. These are the engine, this shall be the engine of growth. The Gambian women, warriors, engine of growth. Gambian youths could have been invested in them. Make, agriculture to be sexy, to be viable, to be something that they will be. What did they do? Nothing. Nothing, absolutely. Now, the same Ahmat. Let's come to Ahmat himself as a person. It's important, it's not personal, but if a public officer stands to use divisive hypocrisy in order to knock our heads, we have to hold him accountable. And holding him accountable might need to to prove to Gambian who he is. His character has to be. It's not about assassinating character, it's exposing it, because our facts documented. Ahmat have a habit of thinking that he is smart. No. And thinking that he can come. That's what he did with the press conference. Came and bamboozled everything. Ahmat talking as he is a new person in the government, someone coming to be the catalyst of change or anything, when he was the master of destruction. He have completely, bulldozed the tourism sector away. The person who failed us on the ecology. Gambians, look, we lost tourism. I have traveled the breadth, the length from Salum to Dakar to Linguère to Podor, Futa. Go and look at the eco. People who have traveled there. Go and look at Linguère. I went to Ndar, and so go and look at the quality of ecology, and how that form of cultural tourism, how big it is now. If you go into Ndar, it's like Banjul. But if you see with all, historically, you see the amount of African tourists, black tourists, from the diaspora everywhere, and that is now the center for that. Go to TikTok. You see how many from Nigeria, from everywhere, diasporans from these things going to that because of the work done to achieve this. Just to show you how lucrative it is, people are paying $200 to stay in the top-notch ones. The minimum you pay per night is $56. $56, and almost all of these ecologists are owned by Senegalese. The Gambia government went on to say that, okay, they want to do something like this. 5, none of them have been realized. Ahmat chewed everything. Not one ecologist has been realized. And the COVID, these things, and all other corruptions, which again, the findings from the select committee at the parliament. He's trying to assassinate the characters of those people. And Gambians will be, oh yeah, Ahmat said this, or Ahmat said that, and thinks that's enough. No, let's come here. Ahmat, the person he is, we know his background, his corruption and everything else. Ahmat as a person who is telling us that all these people that he said they saying, and I'm not disappointed with Dr. Sise anyway. He have just proven himself that 90% of the people participating in the trade of importing cement from Senegal are Senegalese, which is not true. Not true. Dr. Gadjo have expressed his knowledge in it, that from 2018 he was kind of exposed to it due to advice given to the industries, and he knows of the value chain up to Wasu and others. How did I come to know this? When this the Samsung came out, like they just sprung out this tariff rise, a young gentleman from Sweden, I don't know him ever, Ibu guy, he invested. He called me that night in distress, said that all my investment or all our investments will go down. The government have just, overnight raised this tariff. Ibu guy said to me that someone gave me your contact to contact you to get onto this. The person who managed to find my contact gave it to me. I do not know that person. I know the person. I've never done anything with that person. But the person thought there's something that I might be able to add value to support them. I did my, again, I don't jump onto things. I've looked at it. I talked to many other people. I found out that so many diasporan Gambians, especially the Fanas, I'm not picking on, that's the identity I can give them, from New York and other areas, have invested in their families. Because, you know, this past years, past 30 years, there are so many of them that, went to New York and, you know, have the capital now. They are investing their capitals. They invested in their families, just as Ibugai have done, invested in his family in the Gambia to buy trucks and so on and so forth. But there are other diasporans in other countries that have seen or found a lucrative business, sustainable business, and they are reinvesting. There are Gambians within Gambia who have took out loans, and some from the diaspora probably took loans or scratched their credit cards. We know how it works, and invested. Now, in this mix of things, many of them, especially Fanas, when they speak Wolof in the urban area, many Gambians would mistake this Wolof as a Senegalese. As Senegalese. I had that experience because I spoke to many of them. I know they are all Gambians. But if I did not know better, I thought, oh, these are Senegalese. But the chain, value chain and everything else, shops. I spoke to shopkeepers in different locations. They are Gambians. Now, for Ahmat Bat to turn around to give a percentage of 90% or are Senegalese, or they do this, take money and go. You see, that's why I first put out the evidence. What about Senelec? How many $1 million Senelec is taken out and go? Why didn't we make sure we have a sustainable supply of energy? How much car power is taken and go? You see, they are trying to hit our heads. Why our resources, the fish resources, we allowing the Macky Sall mafia to have license and sell that license. Not even Gambians selling our license now. Macky Sall mafias are selling our license and still holding to our license. Why didn't we not withdraw the license now? Because of they are not allowing other people to fish in their waters. No, this is again part of a campaign. And you look at this. Whenever this government got into trouble, by protecting their patrons, the entire government will come and defend them. Just as we've seen with Hadim Gai. They all came out and defended Hadim Gai. The audit reports came and just proved that the government lied about everything they said. Malik Jen was right in their investigation and their expose. Mustafa Dar was right in his expose of everything that happened. On the T, the audit report vindicated Malik Jen. And they came out to try to defend it. And we have seen this again. The entire government starts standing up to attack small and medium businesses. And if we are talking about sovereignty and sovereign economy, we have to protect the small and medium. You'll be surprised the impact the small and medium have. And if we understand innovation, if we understand how transformation happen, we will understand that we'll start from small, medium to grow. Many businesses that will come to be prosecuted without indigenous input, it's not sustainable, it doesn't stay. Go and read the tiger economy. How the tiger economy was grown. Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, and all these places. Go and look at the formula of how they did it. And this is what Kagame is reproducing. He did not reinvent what is happening in Kigali. Go and read. Go and read the tiger economy. If you look at, I'll give you an example, Walmart, Tesco, with all these muscles that their government has, try to muscle in the Indian government to open their mega stores. The small Indian shops and others, grocery stores and others, refuses, and it never happened. That's when you talk about protection, that's what protection is. That's what protection is. Go and understand. I still remember in 1982, when the late Sirif Sehuba Sise, SSCC of the finance ministry then, presented a budget and explained the preamble of the budget and explained transformation. How Gambia economy would be transformed from the sustainable development and all these ERPs, and explained and gave example. Those elders had it. As a student, I sat there and listened, and I just got everything in. He explained how Japan came out of the war to now lead in industries. How Japan came out of the war to lead industries. Go and look at all the leading Japanese manufacturers or industries. It's from ingenious level, from the backyard. They built it from the backyard to what it becomes today. Within the family, it went up. Before they started to bring in Western and how to call it, the Western human resources, and go and learn that mistake. How many companies collapsed or went into problems when they started to get Western human resource into their top echelon of management? That's what protection is about. That's what it is, to develop it from top up. Small and medium, they are the backbone of any economy and should be controlled. I am not anti-protection of our sovereign economy. No. But let these people not fool us. They are not doing that. They are creating oligarchs to be multi-billionaires when deprived Gambians, and the example again, I'll go to point it out, the $50 million that could have been distributed among entire Gambian agricultural sector. From poultry, animal husbandry, horticulture, fish, rice development, cereal, and every other thing, to create that bread basket. But no. This is what we should realize. Now, Ahmat claims are completely false. But again, remember, it's the same Ahmat. During the elections, 2021 registration, it was the same Ahmat that came out to you guys, calling the likes of me. They're calling us, and their supporters calling us xenophobes. They're calling us tribalists. Someone like me, they're calling me of hating their own. When he was in the Salum, across the Salum, and every other way, bringing foreigners, he disappeared. Go and look at the timeline. He disappeared. Everybody said, "Where's Ahmat Bah?" He was in all these areas bringing them. Ahmat Bah, before that, he made a statement. Let's look at the contradiction of the statement. Ahmat Bah said, "Oh, because we have so many Gambian women that went to Senegal to get married." Or another thing. He said the other thing he said was, "Oh, so many Gambians cross over to Senegal to farm," which are all lies. I'm not saying that Gambians are not married in Senegal. They are not in thousands. No, they are not in thousands. And why would NPP want to? What determined to NPP that these people will be voting for them? They have to bring them. Why facilitating those people? No, it's a lie. When he talk about Gambians farming in Senegal, how many thousands of Gambians who cross the border? What's the difference from our land and whatever? What access do they have? It was a lie. But it was about to fraudulently win the elections. He would say that. Now attack people for that. But immediately after elections, bread shortage, they turned the tap now to attack the fullers. Yes, specifically fullers, not foreigners. And him being a fuller, you know, that's what NPP do. When they want to attack Mandinkas, they will get a Mandinka to come out. They want to attack the fullers, they get a fuller to come out. Ahmat Bah came out with no shame to say that yes, because of the bread manufacture, production in the country is dominated by foreigners. And everybody went for the fullers. Because what? He opened the can of worms. Yeah, he went for the fullers. Well, all because we know that by virtue of tradition and whatever, some of these things are traditions. But if you want to change that, which I support, inject capital, inject training, build facilities, support Gambians, regardless of what tribe they are. Support Gambians that have the capacity or develop their capacity to take over. It's not about taking over to compete. What we have seen for the Singate invested in a bakery and everything, where did it go? Because it's discouraging. Do you know why? I'm not saying exactly I know why for the bakery did not work. Because if you want to compete, to give the best value of product, bread, you want to compete, giving the best incentive for your staff, want to compete paying all the taxes, not giving no bribe, doing everything by the book. My brother, you'll be out of business. The reason why most of these foreigners would thrive is they know how to cut the corners. They know how to minimize their expenditure on staffing, overheads. It's not where you want to say, "Oh, I would not want to keep these young people in the bakery for 12 hours. I will give them 8 hours and I want to pay them 8,000. No, they put their people 12 hours and probably pay 3,000. How can you compete with someone like that? Or probably the entire family will be running that. These are things that government need to know, understand if they want to. Ahmat Bah came out and said that. But after that, the whatever case happened, it solved. Did we see the government invest in the youth? Did we see any initiative introduced by government? No. Absolutely, they created an environment for people to attack, to be xenophobe. Not only to be xenophobe, to be tribalist, because of the notion that the entire bread, these things were fullers. And I see a lot of young people going out there saying the same thing. Just as I see today, a lot of young people trying to say that, "Oh, we have to protect the Senegalese, and we have to protect against Senegal." As I said, and I'll come to that. I'll come to that. To tell you how and why we need to protect ourselves. But how do we achieve that? It's not by picking fights. We cannot pick fights with Senegal. The hypocrisy of Ahmat Bah the soldiers guaranteeing their security. I can tell you this. If Senegalese soldiers, you know, we talk about economic. Economic is just an umbrella. The backbone of economic is Senegal. If Senegalese soldiers withdraw today, we'll have the Jawara experience. The mistake, I have said this many times, the mistake Jawara did. If you do that, I am not saying that economic should not go, but we know that they have neglected our soldiers. We know that they have created bad governance. And where there is bad governance and disgruntled soldiers, expect something else. That's how much I'm going to say. If you see them sleeping well at night, it's because of this. Now, the hypocrisy in these people, making you say we protect it. How can you protect against Senegal? Because you know what, the stick that will put into your eyes, you will not see it. It will get in there. That's what is happening to them. I will come to that bit in a minute. Ahmad Ba, when he was in the ECOWAS, how to call it? And ECOWAS, what do you call this? ECOWAS Parliament. Days. And I can tell you, I'm not going to name of this thing because I swear that person is not here now. No people who were supporting Ahmad Ba from Senegal because Ahmad Ba bamboozled them. A former Gambian ambassador who lived in Senegal were one of the supporters of Ahmad Ba financially. Someone from parliament, someone from Salum himself, supporting Ahmad Ba family and others. And part of, obviously, the Padim and others, Ahmad Ba had a ransacked place in those days in Charoy, around Charoy Gar. He never developed it, he could not develop it. After Ahmad Ba became minister, go and look at the development in there. And not only that, how many properties Ahmad Ba have developed in Senegal. And now Ahmad Ba trying to pretend as how many times Ahmad Ba spent in Senegal. I don't know for now, but even this the second wife was living in Kaula, Senegal. And the second wife is a relative. Because if you understand the Senegambia regions, the people from Salum have families. Anywhere you go, people from Fonyi have families. People on Badibu have families on the other side. Then for him, show you the hypocrisy and how dangerous this guy is. His wife is Senegalese. Second wife is Senegalese. And one of his sons is in the Malian army. He sent one of his sons in the Malian academy. He did not send it in the Gambian army. So much for patriotism. So much for patriotism. Now, he has properties. Barrow has properties. All of these people have properties. Tangara, I know of during James Singh, I saw his property in Bur. He has a property in Bur. And probably in Dakar and other places, I don't know. All of these people, they don't care. Let them not, put inside Senegambian youths to be against Senegalese citizens. They don't mean what they're saying. They don't mean what they're saying. Now, let me come to this. Ahmad Ba said, and I can tell you what he said was not true. Ahmad Ba said that Barrow said to Jomai Faye that, because of you people did not allow, 86 products or 36 products into your country, that's why we're doing this. It's not true. It's not true. I have said something about this before. I did not get into details, but I'm going into details because of Ahmad Ba have said something directly. The night, the reason I didn't want to give details, it was just to protect something, but I have taken permission from that person. I'm not going to name him, but I'm going to explain what happened. To show that what we do things, we are not against government. We are against bad governance. And we are not here just to talk on this thing and move away. We have strategy, we have strategies. We have strategy how to do things. That night, this young person contacted me about this thing. I said Senegal would be interested, and leverage would be from Senegal. I said to him, my man, Jomai is coming. I think we can intervene to get Jomai to raise it to Barrow, because this is against ECOWAS protocols. I did not get into all details in this program because I've done it before and explained everything. And I said, I don't know why these people are even stupid to do this 3 days before Jomai coming to the Gambia. I went to someone who have good relationship with the Senegalese government, and I appealed to him and I explained, and he said, what else do you have? I sent him all the evidence I have, because I have the letter from the cabinet, I have letter from the cabinet raising this so-called policy, I have the letter that was sent as a directive to customs to raise this thing. I passed it on to him. He said, I am going to work on it. He went and worked. I'm not going to point to where he this thing, but a point of contact with Senegalese government. That person said to him, I am not sure whether Jomai would raise this time around, because he's just coming. This is the fourth time formalization, this thing, but he's coming back on the 4th also for the OIC summit. Probably, by then he would able to raise it. But what I will do is I will pass it to the External Affairs Minister. Probably the External Affairs Minister would raise it with his counterpart, Tangara. Guess what? The next day, when Jomai came, next day this person briefed me, and in fact with evidence, I have the evidence, said that actually Jomai managed to raise it with Barrow, and Barrow apologized to say that, oh, it was a mistake. You see, that tells you that something must be wrong with Barrow. I can tell you, I have the evidence to say that that's what Barrow said to Jomai. I have evidence. And I tell you why it makes sense. Not only because I have the evidence, which I cannot share because it's private, from diplomatic sources. What makes sense? The next day, guess what happened? Gambia government reclined the decision and trucks were allowed. Now, if Barrow have said to Jomai, get to hell, or because of you people, that's technical, that's what it is. Or because of you people are not allowing 83 products. I'll come to the 83 products or 30 products or whatever products into Senegal. That's why we are doing this. Then the next day, the GRA would not have allowed the old tariff of $30 a bag. They allowed it. It went on, it went on, it went on. Until when Jomai's reply to Barrow was, when Barrow raised this thing and said, oh, it's a mistake, we should have, the reason Barrow said it is a mistake, Barrow said we should have consulted you. Abruptly bringing this tariff, yes, it looks kind of provoking, but I apologize. We will consult you next time round. Guess what this government did? Their desperation to protect their oil, they sent the Trade Minister Ababakar Diouf. Again, the evidence is there. We all seen the communique from Senegal, from the Gambia government and Senegalese government. Ababakar Diouf went to Senegal and raised the issue about the cement alone. About the cement alone, just as Barrow said, oh, next time that we'll raise the tariff. Just imagine this government. The Senegalese trade minister, I forgot his name, I think he's a Serer too, like Diouf, but I know his background, he's an industrialist. According to the communique from Gambia and Senegal, said they proposed, the Jomai government proposed, and in fact selected a date for the 4th of July to meet with Gambian experts, diverse experts in all trade things, to look at both interests of both nations to formulate and agree on this. Not only on the cement, but on anything else regarding trade and our interests. They did not want to discuss only about the cement in isolation. No, they want to have this as a new administration. Did the Gambia not have an opportunity now? With everything that we believe that is a disadvantage between us and Senegal, shouldn't we not walk that way? It's not that the right thing to do? The Senegalese new government have advanced this to say, let's sit on the table and bring out all the things and we discuss it for mutual interest and talk about Pan-African. That's what they said. But for Ahmat to say that Barrow said him that, oh, you guys are calling for nationalism, now we too. Can you believe that that's what Barrow said to Jamai? And if Barrow said that to Jamai, should Ahmat not sensible enough know that that was out of line? He would not come out to say it. Is what Senegalese government hearing this? Would they not see this as provocation? Just told you the buffoon, and it's not an insult. Because Ahmat thinks he's smart. And if we are silent, he would believe that he is smart. And he will continue to do this. Common sense. If that was even true, he would not have come out. He should not have come out and said it. Because it's not to our advantage. Senegal have done right to invite us, and we are going to meet them on the 4th of July. The Minister of Trade came back from Senegal, and the next day, because when they reclined from the old from new tariff to old, there was no written directive again to the customs to recline. They just give a verbal instruction to recline it for now, temporarily. Guess what? They went back and gave a verbal instruction to GRA to say that go on, put it back on again. For them, they have done the consultation. So how desperate this government is to protect their oil, their petrol, but not it's about our interests. If we had wait till July 4th to discuss this, sit down on the table and discuss it. Now, what are they going to do with Senelec? Taking billions of dollars from us. You know, last time, and another thing happened, because Barrow too is angry. Another thing is, the Jamai government is not targeting Gambia. They said to Senelec, because Senelec have not collected most of their debts from big companies and others because of the corruption. They said them that you have to improve, and they have a new director. You have to improve to regain your capital. Now they are asking Gambia government to pay, settle them. Remember, the issue arises, and Barrow went to Senegal and begged Macky Sall to kind of negotiate this. Then Gambia government went and raised our tariff to about 35% in order to get money to pay off Senegal. They haven't paid it off. But Senegal wants more money now, pay. Now he is bringing confrontation for this. For him, he's saying it as they are against him because of what he did to Passive. No, our Passive government are mature enough not to take this personal. They are not taking this personal. But Barrow is taking this personal. Barrow is taking this personal. Again, just to put this position again, Gambia don't have 38 products or whatever. Gambia, we don't manufacture. If this government is serious, let's manufacture something. You don't expect to buy sugar in bulk, bring it in the Gambia and say that another country have to accept you to take it in there. It's against ECOWAS protocol. ECOWAS even defend that. The only time you can protect your industry is if you have an industry. If you have an industry, there are areas that Senegal have not been played in right. Those are the things we need to negotiate. On transport, there are so many hindrances they put in place. Why this government did not solve that? On our GSTC investments, Gambia bosses investment, transportation investments, and orders and orders. On the issue about the cashew imports from Bissau to our ports, because from the Maki government they try and impose assumptions that the cashew coming from Bissau has to be exported from Senegalese ports rather than Gambian ports. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about the timber we taken from Casamas, because of it's against Gambian interest. It's not our interest. We are sitting in the same the same position. If deforestation happen in Casamas, is affecting us. The forest in Casamas is to the benefit of Gambians to be sustainable, but not to allow these cartel members to come in and get it cheap and sell it to China and pocket the money and our future generation to suffer. This Ahmat Ba, as I said, he's got families in Senegal. He got investments in Senegal. Now, we have seen the same Ahmat Ba being very divisive. It's the same Ahmat Ba who took a journalist and did an interview. You know, they know when to provoke. And provoked, because as I said, what they do, they divide us by tribe, and they divide us by political, so that we will have political alliances within the opposition. He went and addressed the UDP as cockroach. I forget the exact statement. Someone might remember the statement, but address them as cockroach. We know the last time a group of people were addressed as cockroach, what happened. He did that, but the same Ahmat Ba, when, I don't want to name these people, those people, it was in Banjul, when they came to the mic, one of them I'll name because he's an elected or a selected member of parliament, Fatoumata Jawara, went to the mic to insult Sonadab or UDP. It was Ahmat Ba that came and stopped her. Gambians to see that, oh, Ahmat Ba is different. No, he is the worst. He will do it behind the scenes, and he will do it when he thinks that he needs to come out to prove to Barrow that he's loyal, to prove to Barrow he's defending Barrow. He will do that. But next minute, play nice. And when the other guy who is from America stood there to insult too, he went and took the mic. No, we shouldn't do that. But the same Ahmat Ba called them cockroach. And other things. Same Ahmat Ba called people tribalists. Same Ahmat Ba called people violent. And called people hating their own tribe because of what he was bringing foreign voters. But the same Ahmat Ba went on to call the bakery, these things as foreigners. And be saying foreigners, insinuating fullers, and it became tribal as well. We've seen the tribal rhetoric on social media. It is the same Ahmat Ba that said that he was protecting, he went to Taranga FM to say that he was protecting his people, the fullers. But when King Koli came and attacked fullers as drivers, we see Ahmat Ba nowhere. We see Ahmat Ba nowhere. Simple sense to say that these people they don't have our interest. They don't have our interest. It's the same Ahmat Ba trying to win over the press, trying to at the same time attack Mohamed Jah, went on to attack D.A. Jawo, one of the most respectable people we have within our midst. You might disagree with D.A. in many things. D.A. have never come out to disrespect any single Gambian. But he went to this and lied about something that did not happen that way. DA, as a Minister of Information, does not have the powers to enforce a policy. A policy is generated in cabinet through a white paper. And the secretary to the cabinet, which is the secretary responsible for doing the write-ups and distributing the communique to the institutions, stakeholder institutions. It's not the Minister of Information. Then the decision was a collective decision taken from cabinet. What DA would do is to put it to cabinet based on advice from the technical directives like the PURA and others, and put it through them. Why did he turn around to attack DA? Because of a DA continue to hold one of the few that still have the audacity, and the reason he have the audacity to hold this government accountable, if they had anything on him, if he was corrupt, they will bring out the evidence and attack him. But they will have to insinuate to lie, thinking that because of Gambians are easily baffled and to go over DA. Jao. That's what he did. Because he wanted, why didn't he name Mohammed Jah? He wanted to attack Mohammed Jah because of, listen to Ahmat properly. What he was doing. When I watched one of it time, he was doing a charm offenses. Oh, thank you very much, my friend. Patronizing one of the journalists after you insult journalists, calling them journalists. Disrespecting Data Haidara. What he said about Data, making it light, it's not light. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Someone that have sacrificed and died for the truth, died with the pen. You came and smeared that gentleman's name, saying that because of something that you did, or something, this thing, Data was angry with you, and Data sent journalists to attack you, and you called Data to say that he have joined the list, and you think that is appropriate? On Data, you think that is appropriate to the institution of journalists? Yeah, but he will get away with it. Because it seems we don't see it. He went on to give stories. You show people that did communication will tell you. That's how politicians baffle us. They put meat on the bone. They put a face to this issue. Just as you come to the UK, they said, oh, the other time I was in my office, a constituent came and talked to me about this. They are lying. You know what happened in the UK here? Journalists will go and find that constituent. They will dig into it and they will find out it's a lie. A constituent did not come that day, or whatever it is. They will prove it. It's a means of communication. Ahmat was saying, oh, I'm not going to name his name. My friend was with his son. My friend, I don't know what profession he said the friend was. And he was with his son, and they were traveling to Sukuta, and my son, and the son said to him, oh, Dad, in our time we grow up, we will not have any forests or any trees. This is Ahmat who sold properties in the TDA. Go and see what he did to the TDA. There's a gentleman from Bakau called Mortal. Mortal paid everything, did everything right to be issued a land that he was putting a multi-complex spa and other things which was suited for that area. Guess what? He denied Mortal and gave the premises that Mortal was to be allocated to who? Nando, the Indian Nando. He's talking about foreigners, he gave it to Indian Nando. And that Nando paid less than Mortal, and he gave him waivers for payments and everything. You think that waiver is going to who? Ahmat Bah. That's how we became wealthy. And so many other land he stole with Barrow and others. Yeah, he went for Musa Drame and Abasanyang. Why didn't he not tell you that the government are going to sack Musa Drame? Because if you sack Musa Drame, you have to sack Barrow. If you sack Musa Drame, you have to sack Ahmat Bah. If you sack Musa Drame, you have to sack Dr. Gassama. If you sack Musa Drame, you have to sack the finance minister. The entire government will have to go. That's why this government would never do anything right, because of they have undone wrongs. But Ahmat Bah will try to spin it. Oh no, we don't know what we're going to do. It's not for me to decide. It's not for you to say anything. Abba Sanyang have been, there's a video that caught Ahmat and Abba resigned because of controversy. Why was he not prosecuted? Because if you prosecute Abba was part of the mechanism, the APRC mechanism that was in NPP that stole the election as governor. And he worked with Ahmat Bah himself in go and look at the population disparity in that areas. Villages that have, less than 1,000 people have 4,000 people registered. They will not do it. Why not Musa Drame who oversaw all of this thing? Musa Drame took a property owned by Koros family to build a Koros legacy. to build a clinic and a school, not for their own good thing, for their legacy. The family of Koro have been doing so much since this new government came into place. I mean, bringing medical experts, bringing medical things, doing everything. Now they took it from them to give it to one of their NPP patrons and a relative of Musa Adwani. And you want to believe in Ahmat? That's what a hypocrite Ahmat is. That's what a hypocrite Ahmat is. Now, finally, just to say this. When I spoke about Ablai Cham and Isa, I have never got into their personal relationship. Never. What did I do? I just want to do this. I came across, I think I was the first to publish and talk about this Isa issue. Again, I was looking into Ablai Cham, nothing personal. I was looking into it because of what was transpiring before us. First, he came into view or on the media saying that he's going to build a hotel. That's where I started. It wasn't personal. I know he doesn't have what it takes. And for the national interest, I said I have to advocate this. It went on. The main controversy was in fact undermining our democracy, undermining our justice system. I stood to solidarity with the case of Nene Freda, especially the day I saw Nene Freda sitting down outside the police station with his friends around her. Then I did a program, and that program was centered on why are the police allowing to be used against their own system. And the program touched on one of the police officers, a senior officer. He was really touched. He said to me, actually, there's more to this. He said, this guy, Ablai Cham, everything you said was true. In fact, there's a bigger one. I said, bigger one, what? He said, this abuse, or controlling the state and abusing government systems. He said, do you know Aisha Fati? I said, I heard of her. I don't know her. Or you should have spoken to her. I said, I cannot just do that. He said, okay, wait. That person provided me the file of the investigation. I took the file, looked at it, reviewed, and there was a need to speak to Aisha. I went through someone, a third party, to speak to Aisha. I make sure, not Aisha, in fact, was the husband. I knew he was married. I said, let me speak to the husband. And when I called the husband, I said, I am not interested in the private matters of the relationship between your wife, respectfully, and Cham. What I'm interested is here, this public interest. I explained the reason why I was contacting them. And he saw it, and we made an arrangement, and we spoke. And initially, it was a video call to ascertain who I was or who they were. I needed that. Make sure I'm talking to the right people. Then we went off video call and discussed. I went through these things, and they, that's this, yep, that happened, yep. I said, fine. I said, I'm coming out to come and this thing, but it's not about your private life. It's not about defending you or anything. This is about the public interest. I said, one, our police are meant to be reformed. Our police are meant to be doing the right thing. And if it happens to you, it's like it's going to happen to other people. We should not allow this. I said, I'm not saying that I will not, I'm not looking after your interests, but I'm not directly, and that's not my reason. It's about our interests as a whole. And I said, this guy should not get away with this. If he managed to get away with this, he's going to do worse than us. That was true. I took another route to get other thing, information. And when I got other information, in fact, I called back Aisha's husband and verified. And they were surprised how I knew about these things. I said, I said, yeah, that's true. Now, I came out and did I think I have 10 articles on different issues and nothing to do with their private life. I've never done that. I don't go into people's private life. And why is it important? It's about what is happening right now. We all know that the person is not fit for purpose. And my argument was always he was not fit for purpose person to go into business. And what the relationship, I established the relationship with the first lady and everything that, and when I told them that, did you ever had this? One of this, okay, give you an example that Aisha did not tell me, but I find out through contacts within State House. I said to him, does the first lady call Cham as my father? He said, yeah. Daddy? He said, yeah. I said, have you ever been anywhere that she have demanded money? He said, yes. And one of it was, in fact, the first lady had to drive to meet up in the so because the guy was traveling. So, oh, I am around here, we will meet up, and jump off and went and got the money from her. And stuff like that, and others. Then I saw and understand everything that transpired. When the police came, and something the then IG, Sanya, is someone I knew. The head of investigation by then was Pa Aliu Jawara, someone I knew and was related to. I still got the messages here. I sent them a letter, which I hardly do, to say to them this how important this is, and these are serious allegations. Whether they want to talk to me about this before I come out, to have this their side. Pa Aliu Jawara and called me and said, oh, IG got your these things, yeah, this thing, and because of you, he said, I can speak to you. I said, fine. Unfortunately, everything Pa Aliu told me was a lie. And that was the shocking part. Because of the respect I have for Pa Aliu and what he portrays, I knew him before, even coming to the UK, because there was an interaction we had, and I can tell you that interaction, Pa Aliu was professional and everything. And that interaction I was affected. But he was professional. Then he didn't know who I was. But after all, we came here and we know each other from UK here, and all the things transpired between us. I respected him. I thought he would not look at, tell me something that was not untrue. But everything he said to me was untrue. He said, oh yeah, because of the Nigerians were involved, other people are involved. I said to him, Pa Aliu, that's not true. I said, I'm not saying that you are lying, but the information that you received from your intelligence or whoever gave it to you, that's not true. I explained how I came across the facts. But later I knew that he knew that what he was saying was not true. But out of respect and giving him benefit of the doubt, I just said to him, that's not true, and I gave him my reasoning and presented the evidence. I said to him, if that is, why not this, that explain. I said, well, do you know a guy called Abdullah Cham? He said, no. I said, but you are investigating an allegation that Aisha is blackmailing someone else. And who is that someone? I said, you know this Abdullah Cham. From that instant, I said, you know it's Abdullah Cham. I said, I got that side of it. And you know, I said, it's about Abdullah Cham. It's nothing to do with Nigerian, nothing to do with money laundering with Nigerian and others. If any money laundering happened, it's Abdullah Cham, and the recipient would be Aisha. I make it clear to him, if any money laundering happened. I said to him, do you know that? I said, the IGP, I wish I'll have him on the phone. I said, do you know that the IGP visited Abdullah Cham twice in Senegal? Do you know that the apartment Abdullah Cham lives is not even his. He's renting. And I gave him the address. I said, what you guys talk about Interpol and everything, look at your Interpol correspondent. Because I have your Interpol correspondent here. What you guys are doing, you are working corruptly with Senegalese law enforcement because of the influence of Abdullah Cham in the Maki's government. And you are doing this against this interest. Whatever I'm telling you, I said, if you believe, I said, Sanyang must be telling you this. Because Sanyang knows everything that's happening, and if you said that you didn't know that, I can say, go back to Sanyang and tell him that Ben Suwareh said, you know all this, you visited this, that. In fact, we agree, when we discussed it, I said to him, look, if there's any evidence of money laundering and everything, I want that prosecuted. Whoever is this thing. We even agree, I said, look, I can help you. If you really meant well, I have ton of intelligence that can be applied, and I can tell you. But I know you guys are not serious. You will not do it. Tons of the intelligence on money laundering and drug trafficking and everything. Every day I'm presenting online, and I'm not giving everything that I know online. If you're interested, I can help you. But he never came back on that because they are protecting all these people. Now, when that happened, guess what? Aisha took them to court. And the most serious thing, the entire government went to court to lie. They swore affidavit at justice, swore affidavit, and Pa Ali went and presented an affidavit he knew to be false. That case technically discontinued. I don't know how they've this thing. And next minute, Abdullah Cham finally came out. First, they denied the existence of Abdullah Cham. He came out now to take the case into the civil court. Now, Gambians know what is going on in the civil court. But again, we're seeing something else. The case in Banjul, Gambia have matured to a level that Abdullah would have to take the stand in order to prove the case. And the cross-examine, Abdullah's testimony would have been explosive, or would be explosive. Because the lawyers know what they're going to ask. Then we'll see who committed a crime, or who are the people that commit the crime. It will not be about what transpired between them because of their relationship, but what law have been broken for that to happen. Probably that's why Abdullah decided that, look, I don't want this case to continue in Gambia. Still, the justice system is like the way it was in Maki's time. Let me try and see whether I can influence the same judges. But it seems that's not happening. Now, he took the, I don't know how it happened that they arrest her on this, based on charges of this blackmail. That Cham have tried to constitute in the Gambia, but because of the evidence is weak, it's a criminal matter. I mean, he did not pursue that. But now he used it at Senegal, and we have witnessed today that those charges now have been thrown out. Now, the same Cham brought the same civil case to the Senegalese courts that are already going into the Gambia, going through the courts in the Gambia, where Cham have vested interest in the Gambia. Have this? Just imagine this. Why did he take it to Senegal? Hoping that he would be able to get away with it there. But what is all this about? It's not about us as the personal relation. It tells you the character of the person we're dealing with. Right now in the Gambia, there's a hotel suing Cham to the courts because he have not paid them. But he's paying tons of so-called influencers online to campaign for him. Hotels in the Gambia, even go last 8 months ago, there are new cases against him that banks he took money from or automobile he have not paid. Why is it interesting? Also be of our interest. Tell you the Gambia we have today, that because of the interest of Barrow and the First Lady, and Ahmat and around it, this is they protecting a Senegalese citizen against our national interest. I'm not talking about national interest in our hotel and other thing, we lost it. But the same people are telling you, oh, they are protecting an industry against Senegal. No. You see, I've not even touched on Wage. I've not even touched on Wage. Because of time, it's been gone. I even forget about Wage. Another this thing, Wage. If you know background of Wage, how much Wage, why is Wage now doing more business in the Gambia than anywhere else? And the duty waivers and the corruption, and Wage, the access Wage have in our central bank, the protection Wage is given to our central bank, to the extent of Wage being part of the team of NPP members trying to get a candidate for the next to replace Barrow. Guys, finally, it's been a long one. It's gone 2 hours. I didn't want it to be 2 hours. But I hope that enough is out there, especially for young, especially for educated people to be very careful of this government, especially for the young. I want Gambian youths to be patriotic, to be nationalist, but not based on sentiments. Let it be based on reasoning. Let it be scientific. Let's very be analytic about what we do. Let us not be swayed by this government. Let us be critical, hold them accountable, and everything else. I hope and wish we will have a government that will put competent people in position to sit down on the table, to negotiate with Senegal for our mutual interests. For our mutual interests. I can tell you one thing. This government don't have it. They don't have the competent people to sit down with Senegal. But there's another competency measure. And that competency measure comes from national security. That competency measure is under the preview of the national security services. That's where sovereign interests are protected. That's where certain strategies needed to be developed to insulate certain things and make sure people representing us are up to the task. It's not only the competence of passing knowledge, experience in other things, it's the competence of passing that person's integrity. Integrity. I can tell you, even the European Union, you'll be surprised. With all this thing you hear about the European Union, when Britain did these things, go on find out what briefing the negotiators have from the national security point of view on how they go and even how they select them, how they scrutinize them, and so on and so forth. This is what we need. It's sad. Again, I can tell you, I am very inspired by Dr. Usman Gajigo. If you listen to that guy, and you know that imagine that person sitting on a table across Senegalese counterparts, you think we will lose out? No. These are the calibers of people that we expect to see in governance to represent our interests. Thank you very much, guys, and thank you very much for all those people that have been supporting the platform with this stars. And we have a good evening, have a good weekend, and probably we'll come back very soon. But follow us on Freedom Radio as well. At times it's very convenient to have interviews than to do the presentations. People just to ask and deliberate. And Alaji Salu is doing a brilliant job in that. Thank you very much, guys. Good evening.